What's happening, y'all? This is Mike D with Black Fathers Now, where we're bringing the village to the brothers. Every couple of weeks, you can look forward to a quick inspirational message or a thought-provoking guest with knowledge and wisdom, all geared towards helping you be the best father that you can be. We're bringing the village to you. Now it's your turn to do something with what you learned. All right, y'all. Let's go. So hold on. We were just having a conversation, and you just said you watched your dad get up and walk to work every day, and that did something for you.
Yeah, you grow up and you watch a guy get up every morning when it's dark, no jacket on, and walk to work every morning. And I thought that, hey, why didn't he, and it's cold outside, why didn't he have a jacket on? Because I thought, hey, he's just that tough. He's a tough guy. But later on in life, I learned that the reason why he didn't have a jacket is because my brother and my sister, myself, we all had nice jackets.
Fellas, okay, we're about to jump into a conversation, and I just wanted to start off with that because we were talking, and he started going there. I was like, let me stop, let me get my recorder out, and I got to start capturing this. But we're going to sit down and we're going to have a conversation with my man, Diondre Jackson. Listen, when I say this brother's doing something extremely interesting, extremely important, back in the day, Charles Barkley famously said, I'm not your role model. Well, this brother, this black father, this husband, this ambassador, this man is actually taking that thing to task and saying, you know what? No, I am going to be your role model. And here's why. And so we got my man Diondre Jackson. Tell us a little bit about you, about where you're from. Now, I know you ran track, didn't you, at the University of Tennessee and all of that. Okay, tell us a little bit about your backstory, where you came from and all of that. And then we're going to kind of get into the story of what you're creating here in Jefferson City, Tennessee.
Yeah, so, as he said, my name's Diondre Jackson. I'm not a Knoxville native. I've been here since 1994. I'm an Army brat, so I lived here longer than I lived anywhere my entire life. Kind of traveled all around the country and lived in different places, even in Europe as a child. But found my way to Knoxville via a track scholarship. I was a high jumper at the University.
So that means you got hops.
Tennessee.
You still got hops? That's the question.
Well, I can still dunk a basketball.
Okay.
But...
and look, he's talking like that ain't nothing, man. Most brothers are like, dude, if I can dunk, I got hops. So he's like, well, I can still dunk. Like, that ain't nothing. Come on, man.
Well, you got to look at it. I jumped 7'3.5" in college.
Okay.
The rim is only 10 feet.
There it is. There it is.
But
so you putting your belly button on the rim?
No. No, sir.
Okay.
No, but seriously, I was a high jumper, and that's kind of where the name of the organization, Penultimate, comes from. It's all jumpers know the penultimate step is the most important step in the high jump. A lot of people think the penultimate step is the last step, but that's not true.
So penultimate. I mean, you have to explain that because I'm not a high jumper. I don't know anything about that.
Penultimate means second to last. Okay, and the penultimate step is the second to last step in a high jump. During the penultimate step, you're lowering your center of gravity. Okay, and so the lower you go, without slowing down, the higher you can jump. So I'm asking men to come in this program and let's go low. And this is the second to last thing that you're going to do before you take off and thrive in life.
Wow.
Yeah, so penultimate has many meanings. Probably the only thing I learned in undergraduate is just being a student at a high jump. But at any rate, graduated from college and immediately start working, and worked in corporate America for 5 years, and then transitioned into the nonprofit world, running the first tee Greater Knoxville and Williams Creek Golf Course, and was fortunate to learn how to run and operate a nonprofit for 12 years there. We started an after-school program, touching 100 kids, We took the First Tee's impact from one golf course to about 12. Just being there on the east side of Knoxville to 3 counties. So we grew from 200 to 17,000 kids.
Wow.
While I was there, operated that golf business. But my heart has always been to helping, as it says, the least of these. And we were talking about, family and how important family is. And so working with Young Life in Knoxville as a volunteer, I just saw the need for fathers in the low income community, in the black community. It's a scarcity of and this is no secret. It's just a scarcity of black men in those communities, of fathers. And so folks that know me and work with me know that my wife and I, because I'm a married man and it's a team. My wife and I, we're a team. And so we kind of took things to the next step and really tried to meet the needs of folks that we come in contact with, whether it be through Young Life, whether it be through the First Tee, whatever it may be. And as a result, I was blessed to serve as a kind of a surrogate father to a lot of young men over the last almost 20 years, and just seeing a lot of results from that. And that's how my organization, that's how we kind of was birthed, through my experiences running nonprofits and just working and seeing that need. If this was a profit business, an entrepreneur sees an opportunity and sees a need, and he feels that opportunity and that need, and he's awarded financially with profits.
That's right.
Okay, I see an opportunity and a need to impact lives in low income communities, and I believe that at the end of the day, my profit is going to be the lives impacted, the lives change, the communities change, and my award is the legacy of that. Now, Mike, I'll tell you that a lot of folks may look at this and say, how can this come to be? And that's why I talked the story about my dad. How he sacrificed for us growing up, how he did without so we could have. He literally had nothing. I mean, he was in the military, and he was an enlisted soldier in the military. Enlisted soldiers back then didn't make that much money.
That's right. That's
okay? Right. And so he did without so we could have. And so before I became a father, one of my goals or ambitions was I want to be able to give like he gave. And I honestly did not think that was possible for me to give like he gave, because he did without so much. And we're selfish people, especially when you're a young person, college or what have you. But then when I had my kids and they handed me my baby and I looked in their face and said, "Oh, I know how he did it."
And how many kids you have?
I have 3. I got 3 kids.
All girls, right?
No.
You have girls and
2 girls and a boy.
2 girls and a boy.
My middle child is a boy. And so now as I've have been blessed to impact the lives of young men, my dad taught me how to do it. My family taught me how to do it. I mean, they we didn't have much in regards to material things, and so those things were never important to me to have. But we had an overabundance of love in our house.
Wow.
And so that family is obviously important to me, and so as I've been involved with all these young men, and Troy and Marquise and Desmond and Ray, and all of these guys, That's one of the things that God gives us the ability to give in abundance, and that's love. And so, I feel extremely blessed to be in the position that I'm in to create an organization that can change and impact our community this way.
So talk to me a little bit. Penultimate. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what exactly is penultimate, and who is it looking to serve, and what exactly are you looking to accomplish with this thing that you're creating? And I'm sitting in this building, and fellas, I should be doing this thing via video because I'm just sitting in the front part, and it's amazing. So talk to me a little bit about penultimate, what it's looking to accomplish, and what you're
So the reason why I created it is because obviously I work youth development. Mm-hmm. And at the first tee, like a lot of inner city, like a lot of programs that's aimed to serve at-risk kids, okay? We do great programming from kids from the ages of 6 to 18. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, I was on the phone with another guy that runs a nonprofit, and they've all but given up on high school kids. He says, hey, once they reach high school, those habits are in place, and there's nothing that we can do for them. We can't change that.
Wow.
Okay, and I think that's why God put people like me on it.
That's right. That's right.
I love working with high school kids.
To fill that void.
Yeah, I think that they're moldable, and that's who I can work with. I can't work with elementary school kids. Mm-hmm.
That's not your
middle school
area.
Kids is tough. Yeah, mm-hmm. So I didn't disagree with them, but I said, okay, that's fine. I just know that there's a lot of opportunity for us. But there's great programming from 6 to 18. But once kids hit 18, what's out there for them? So you take a young man, grew up in a single-parent home. He's been in your program since he was 7 years old. He's 18. He graduated from high school, and he's out of your program, and you say, hey, go forth in this world and be successful. So what's really happening is kids get to that point that they're 18. All kids, no matter where you're from, and they have to take that leap, okay, to adulthood, okay? And if you don't have the support, then it's literally like walking off of a cliff, falling into a pit.
You said something that's so powerful there. It's like everyone without that support, you're kind of not necessarily doomed, but there's a lower probability of your success if you don't have someone there to kind of help coach you along the way, right? And for a lot of us, to your point, when it comes to programming, especially if you come from a household in which maybe you don't have the support at home, and you don't have the mentors, and you don't have this structure in place, you're literally figuring it out on your own, which, some people champion, but the reality is somebody who's wise can learn from the challenges, the experiences, and successes of others, right? So what if you could create this playbook for this group? It's like a continuum for those that have gone through various programs and have kind of got the groundwork laid, but then it's like, now what? We're not just going to turn you loose and you go figure it out. You still need help. What is the African proverb states? It takes a village to raise a child. People tend to omit the fact that every strong and successful grown person also has a village.
Right.
We all have community, and we can't omit that fact either.
So I'm gonna stay with the high jump.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, now so I look at it like this. I have a talk that I do, and I literally became a student at a high jump. And so just picture this: you want kids to ascend, okay? And once they get 18, you want them to be sustainable, right? And so imagine that when they get 18, now there is a void, okay? And some folks, they have that support to overcome that void. They have the support to maybe go to college, trade school. They may have connections and networks to connect them with different apprenticeship programs, right? They have security and they have a safety net, so to speak, okay? Now watch this. But if you don't have all of those things, what you have is a pit. And so a lot of kids, they fall into this pit and they're trying to climb out of this pit on their own because they don't have that support. In the high jump, you're trying to clear a crossbar that's sitting on a standards, okay? And you can leave the ground and feel safe about not hurting yourself as you come down Because there is a pit to catch you. Okay,
that's like a mat or something.
It's a mat,
okay.
yeah, but it's called a pit. Okay. It's the high jump.
I was saying I got to transcribe it for us track and field folks.
And so now, so let me ask you this, Mike: if you were a high jumper, would you try to jump 7 feet if there wasn't a pit to catch you? Because you're landing on your neck and your back, you're vulnerable.
Oh, absolutely not.
Wouldn't do it. As a matter of fact, before Fosbury Flop came along in the 70s, they did the Western roll. And they did the scissors kick. That way they could always land on their feet. Okay? But when they invented the Fosbury Flop, you're going over on your back. People could jump a lot higher. I'm talking like 1.5 foot higher than they could
beforehand.
Before. All right? Now, here we go. What does that mean? Everyone has to take that leap. Either you can fall into a pit or you can be supported by a pit. And so PIT, I have 12 different, 12 different areas for people to be the pit in other people's life.
Wow.
Okay.
So penultimate.
We all have a pit.
Oh, we do.
We all have a support system. We all have security. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It talks about that bottom level.
Absolutely.
That first level, which is, your
you're in the basic necessities, right?
Your physical needs, food, water, shelter. The next one is security.
Absolutely.
And then it just kind of goes up the pyramid. That's what a lot of games use to hold kids down and keep them trapped. So in my program, it's a 10-month leadership program focusing on professional, spiritual, and personal development. It's a residency program, and we're focusing in and helping kids build a pit. We're teaching them how to be successful in pretty much a middle-class environment. And so studies show that that there are rules to living in the middle class that folks that live in generational poverty don't know. So this program is going to help young people make that step into leading sustainable, successful lives. And also, it's going to help them learn to be change agents in their community. And so you see a lot of nonprofits, they operate within these inner city communities. And I'm going to go ahead and say 99% of the people that work and serve and volunteer in those communities are not from those communities. And so that's why, my opinion, the success rate for a lot of these organizations that work in inner cities is so low. So low.
Wow.
So just doing something different. Just doing something different, trying to create change from within the inner city.
Now, and you mentioned it's a residential program, and it's located currently in Jefferson City, Tennessee, correct?
Yeah.
And it's just getting. And when is your first class of young men?
I'm working on building my first class now. So for the last year, I've established the organization, and I've literally have been creating this place. And I don't know. Can you walk around?
Yeah. It's not video. This is audio, so we can walk around. You can talk a little bit about it. Yeah. Give us a little tour. So where we're standing right now. This is the
workspace.
Okay.
Right. So
wow.
This area, you got a conference room and a small little kitchenette, and I have 8 different workstations where folks can, in this community, entrepreneurs, folks that work from home, people that want to start their own business, they can lease by the desk, have access to all of that.
So it's kind of like co-working space.
It's a co-work space.
Wow.
That's all that it is. And it's just another way to supplement some income and help pay some of the bills for it. Because I need an office.
Yes.
Don't have, would like to have a conference room, but it's not, it's not a huge need. But this is a way that I could share the space with folks in the community.
And it's also it's something in which the guys that are in the program, they can come and kind of run into and bump into like local entrepreneurs and things like that. Yeah. There's a concept that I've heard utilized in the construction of like some of the office spaces in Silicon Valley called planned collisions, right?
Yeah.
So basically the whole concept of planned collisions, if people aren't aware of it, is basically they set up a lot of open concepts so that people from various departments have a quote unquote planned collision at the water cooler or a planned collision at the coffee pot, because a lot of great ideas don't necessarily spawn by you just keeping your head down and being stuck in your own world, but by connecting with somebody from a different department with a different train of thought, doing something different, and that allows you to see life a little bit differently. So to the guys in your program, this could potentially set up the opportunity for planned collisions with local business owners and entrepreneurs and creative types.
Yeah, so that's synergy, man.
That is. I'm all about it.
That's about being intentional.
Let's walk some more.
So back here, this is the common area, and we're kind of standing in the kitchen. This is the kitchen. This is the this is gonna be a big dining room table, okay? And there is no table. We got a little furniture in here now. We're gonna fill it up. But I will not buy a table, okay? Because I've heard so many times black folks say that we just want a seat at the table, okay?
Wow.
And so everything that you see in here, I personally restored or built. My conference room table that's in the other room,
you built it.
I restored it.
Wow.
Okay. Now they want to see at the table. I got the tools. I got the blueprint. I bought the wood, but they're gonna have to build their own table.
You better say it. So hold on. You're not buying a table because the concept is we always want a seat at the table. So you like, you know what? No. The mindset is we're gonna build our own table.
Nobody's gonna give you a seat at the table.
Wow. Now I got a question. Is that something that with each new class that comes in, are you going to do that? It's going to not be a table here?
Every class. So at the end of the year, we're going to auction off the table.
Wow.
We're going to sell it. We're going to auction it off.
I love that.
I hope somebody buys it.
No, they will. And I'm going to tell you that with what you're doing, and I'm challenging you here to make sure to document that process. I mean, document everything, but the process and the concept behind it, because that's novel. I've never heard that before from the standpoint of, just creating. And I think that could potentially spawn some other, community groups or people who are doing, mentorship programs or intensive programs to really think about stuff differently. That is a novel idea. That is awesome. Make sure you document that process from start to finish. That needs to be a major part of how you're showing what you all are doing. It's like there's no table here, and here's why.
Yeah.
Because, when I tell you that, literally, I don't have much hair on my back, but the little bit that's there started standing up, and I was just like, yo, that's powerful, man.
Well, I think that a part of our history and our heritage is the fact that, in a more, not so much in the abstract, but we literally have built America.
100%.
And that's in our DNA. And so, before I took this project on, I never restored hardwood floors. I never put in the kitchen. I never built all of the stuff that you see. But when I put my mind to it, I got it done. Okay, and so
wow.
It's in our it's in our DNA. It's what we did for so many years. It's been oppressed, and in doing this last year. So, one of my weaknesses, I'm stubborn.
We all are.
And so I had
in some way, shape, or form,
a general contractor that was working in here, and you see these beautiful ceilings that we have. That beautiful oak wood. I tore the drop down ceiling that was in here to reveal that. Wow. And behind the shiplap that you see there is concrete block. And a lot of us know that have been in the projects, it's a lot of concrete block walls. Now, I didn't want to see one piece of concrete block in this building. This building was built in the 40s, so I told him, I want wood around there to hide the block. But he said, that's going to be expensive, and, I don't know if we can do it. I said, well, what's the problem? You put some studs up, you get some wood, you put it on up. He said that he wasn't going to do that. And so I acquiesced, and he agreed to do something else. But a couple of days later, we found these beautiful hardwood floors. I mean, you look at these floors. This building was built in the 40s, and if you kind of look in the bathroom there, you can see how much flooring I had to tear out.
Oh wow!
About 1.25 inches of
Yeah.
subflooring, linoleum, more subflooring, more linoleum, more subflooring. And I saw that, and I said, "Hey, we're not going to put any engineered wood. We're going to restore this wood." And he tried to talk me out of doing that. And so I had to ask him to leave. And I put up each one of those boards.
Wow. To cover up the brick.
Myself by hand. I did it myself. Cut every piece, wood. I had a guy that was helping me. One of the guys that was in my not in my program, but I mentored. He came up from South Carolina, helped me a couple of days, and we probably did it in a week.
Wow. And he told you it couldn't be done.
He said it couldn't be done.
You know, there's a poem that I learned a long time ago, and it's the title of it was "It Couldn't Be Done." But one of the stanzas was, somebody said it couldn't be done, but he with a chuckle replied that maybe it couldn't, but he'd be the one that wouldn't say so till he tried.
That's right.
Powerful, man, and you showed it.
Yep. So
wow.
So anyway,
I love that, and I love the fact that you're so like the detail of, because the projects, you know, you recognize the notion of bricks being exposed. I don't want any of that shown here. The notion of you're not going to have a table, you're going to build your own table, because I don't want you asking about a seat at the table. And you mentioned the fact that from a historical perspective, we built America, but what was interesting about it is we haven't always been in a position to take advantage of what we built. So what you're showing is, you know what? Yes, you can build for other people. It's good to serve, but you can also build for yourself and have pride in that, because you are enough. You are skilled enough. And you even mentioned you had a general contractor that told you something that couldn't be done, but you proved that, look, it can be done, and I am enough to make it happen.
Yeah, and it's not that expensive either.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in this, all of that wood, it's not more than, it's probably about $350 in wood.
But it's just you doing it.
You know, so it wasn't. I mean,
Wow.
it didn't cost that much. You know, and
He just didn't want to do it.
He wanted to save me $15,000 to do all of this, paint the ceiling and all of that. I'm like, that. You know, I had to ask him to leave. You know, that's ridiculous. But one of the things I know your viewers can't see.
Yeah.
The space upstairs, but it's very nice. I could live here.
It's, man, this is, and I'm gonna tell you, like, and you know, at the end when you give all of the contact information, websites or whatever, where people can follow you, and hopefully you'll have some imagery of what you have going on at some point, so they can look and see and kind of get a glimpse of it. But man, this is powerful, brother.
Yeah,
powerful.
Yeah.
And this is and then the residential.
This is just the common area.
The common area. Okay.
It'll be a nice big, and I believe in you know, family meals together. And so each week, I'm gonna have you come talk, tell your story.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna have lunch.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna sit here for an hour. Because that was huge for me. You know, when I was a captain at the University of Tennessee, business leaders would come in and tell us their story.
Absolutely.
That's what helped transition me from being a student athlete to the workplace, to the workforce. Just hearing their stories, it's just I just identified with those guys when I heard their stories. So, anyway, let's go downstairs.
Yeah, let's go check downstairs. Then this is going to the residential area, right?
This is where they don't be sleeping at.
Wow.
Hear the train in the background about the tracks.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Wow.
So I know your viewers can't see, but this is there will not be any TVs or anything down here. This is going to be a place where you can go and read. And you
library.
See this, I built all of that there. It's this huge block, concrete block right there that you can't get rid of it.
Okay.
You know, I probably could have, but I'm not going to spend $10,000 getting rid of a piece of concrete block.
Just build a beautiful shelving on top of it.
Build some shelving around it. But I'm going to do a big request out on social media. Send me your favorite self-help, leadership, or a autobiography book. Because I want to see that filled up. I'm a big believer in, in reading.
Absolutely.
And helping yourself.
Well, I'm gonna make sure that the first two before you even send it out are gonna be always be engaged. The 7 Keys to Living a Fit Urban Life and Dynamic Black Fatherhood Manifesto. So I'm gonna make sure to. Yep, I'm gonna go ahead and drop 2 of those for you, my man.
So I have a bed here, I have a bed here, and then I have a bed right there.
Oh wow.
Right. So there's a bathroom.
Okay.
A bathroom there on that side.
Awesome.
And so it'll be 3 guys on this side,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the other side of the building. I'll have 3 guys on this side. So
Okay.
I'll have a bed here and 2 beds in there. So
Okay.
you can kind of see all of my equipment. It's funny when I fired the GCs, you know, over the years, you know, my wife would get me gifts and all of that,
Mm-hmm.
and or I would buy different little things. I'm just a guy that just don't have a whole lot of
Mm-hmm.
material things,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I'm very, very frugal, and so, you know, there was that anxiety that came over me, like, man, how am I gonna get this thing done? I gotta find another, you know,
Mm-hmm.
contractor. But then I went home in my basement and I was like,
You got
got
all
all
this
the
stuff.
tools to do it myself. so and then some of the things that I didn't have, you know, I purchased.
Mm-hmm.
But I probably only purchased less than $500 of equipment
It's
to
amazing.
get this stuff done.
I'm gonna tell you, it's amazing. Like when you think about how your story, your journey, your history, you're built for this. You really stop and think about it. You're built for this in the sense that a lot of the stuff you need, you already had.
Already got it.
You know, and a lot of all the experiences that you have or that you've acquired over the years, even the penultimate, the concepts, all these things were setting up for what was to come, and what was to come was this awesome residential 10-month program that you're setting up for brothers to, you know, basically have that pit, so to speak, to carry them as
Right.
they launch into adulthood,
Yeah.
you know, after finishing high school.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's in 2004. I never forget this. I was at church and a guy from Texas came in. Can't remember his last name. First name was Leon, but he had the gift of foresight.
Mm-hmm.
And so he came to me and started praying over me. And he said that this was in 2004 when I didn't know what my calling was
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that, you know. And he told me that I would be doing what I'm doing now,
Wow.
right? He said that you will be that you're gonna be a teacher of men.
Mm.
But he specifically said that it's not gonna happen all of a sudden. It's gonna take time.
Mm.
And you know, it brought me to tears because here's a guy telling me what's on my heart that I know is right, that I know is there, but I don't know what it looks like, and what it tastes like, and what it feels like. And when this opportunity presented itself, you know, I probably got some pictures of what this place looked like when we bought it. But it was a dump. But I only saw it as a dump one time. Every other time that I came here and worked over the last almost year and a half, I saw this.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Wow. Now, and so as far as, you know, folks who are interested in the program, you know, for the inaugural class, you know, you kind of have specifics about that, but then going forward, you know, I'd like for you to kind of give me what's your ultimate long-term vision for penultimate. So start off with this inaugural class.
This inaugural class, I'm looking for 6 men.
Okay.
Okay. And the information is on my website.
And what's the website?
www.penultimatedevelopment.org.
Okay. And we'll have that in the show notes, fellas. So you're listening, check out penultimatedevelopment.org. Okay.
And so long term, and I've been very diligent in doing this in a realistic, affordable, step-by-step process. And the budget for this program will always be under $100,000 a year.
Wow.
Okay, and and even to launch this, to get it going. Now I did most of the work myself and contracted everything out, but I think it can be done for under $100,000. Okay,
and I guess that's probably depending on physical location and cost of real estate and all that kind of stuff in different places around the country. Correct?
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I have a master's in business, and so this whole concept can be replicated in other places, other cities, and I'm very much intentional about taking young men here out of the environment that they're in, and there's something to small communities. This is a small community.
That's even fascinating just to think about it. So to your point, from a cost perspective, yes, if you're trying to do it in Midtown Manhattan, okay, cost whatever. But if you're thinking about some places a little bit outside, there's a smaller community that you could find the opportunity for an affordable rate and do what you do, but you set up the process. So I'm sensing, I'm not putting words in your mouth, or I don't want to put words in your mouth. Your ultimate goal is to basically figure out a way to copy and paste penultimate in various communities, around the country. Is that?
Well, because the need is there.
Yes, 100%.
The need is there. So I think it can be scaled. I think it can be replicated, but you got to do it right.
You got to do it right.
Yeah.
Because what's interesting is you think back to MTV Cribs and BET College Club, and you got all these different things in which they've in essence physically set up the physical structure that you set up, but you're adding this component of holistic self-development, personal growth that's going to end up allowing these brothers to have this quote-unquote pit, to fall into as they leapfrog or as they high jump, the next step of life going into adulthood.
Yeah.
So the thing is, from a possibilities perspective, I can see it. Yeah. It's like when you describe it, when you talk about it, and fellas, as you walk through this thing and you just feel it and understand the concepts that, Diondre is kind of putting in place, this thing is possible, right? It's possible and it's needed. It's like connecting those two, it's limitless.
Right. Yeah. It's affordable, and I think for the right person that can come along and could do it, the same thing. We got to lay the blueprint out, and I didn't get here by myself.
Absolutely.
I don't want this story to be misinterpreted. Because if it wasn't for funders,
absolutely,
if it weren't for people that have put me under their wing,
it's a village, brother.
Then I wouldn't be able to do it. But I can say that this can be replicated. There's a need to have something like this in a small community. This community here in Jefferson City has kind of enraptured me, so to speak, and has given me a lot of support. The business community is very supportive. The government, city, county, they're very supportive. And the only thing that is tough is the fact that I believe that the guys being here, they will have authority in this place. And to give them that authority, they cannot be from here.
That's right. They have to be from somewhere else.
They have to come from somewhere else.
But what's interesting about that is like when you think about when you went to college. Like I was talking to my buddy about this recently. How I went to Georgia Tech, right? So I mean, yes, you had some cool kids, but the majority of us were dorks. We were the ones who did our work. Might have been valedictorians, salutatorians, and all of that. But then when we got to Georgia Tech, all of a sudden everybody recreated themselves. Oh, they were the cool kid. I'm like, but then if you go back and talk to your kids from high school, you was the dork, which is okay. But the funny thing is just the whole concept of as you get into a new environment, you then have the flexibility to recreate this new identity.
Right.
And so to your point, as the guys, and you mentioned them having authority when they come to a place like this, coming from Knoxville or coming from somewhere else and residing here allows them to get out of what they were described as back home and create this identity of who they truly are and what they truly have the capacity and the potential to be. So that's powerful, man.
Well, when I was running the first tee, I a kid that was in our program, in the program, and he grew up in Walter P.
Mm-hmm.
And
Walter P. Taylor Homes is a housing development in Knoxville, Tennessee. Yeah.
And so they moved quite a bit, but he moved into some Section 8 apartments. And I remember for Christmas one year, we got him some tennis shoes,
Mm-hmm.
and because he needed some shoes, and I think a couple of weeks later, the shoes were gone. And I asked him, what happened to the shoes? He said, somebody stole them out his place. And eventually, his senior year in high school, he just moved in with us here. And after school, he would come to the golf course, come home with me. In the morning, I'd drop him off at school, and I'd go to work. And we did that for almost a year. And I say that because I'm a true believer in taking people out of their environment. It's hard for folks to do something different, do something new in the same environment that they grew up in.
Fellas, pay attention to that.
So that and that's why that's why a lot of folks want to see this happen right in the heart of things. But I think people need a new environment. And this is a different environment.
Very much.
This is a safe place here. And Mike walked around. It's nice. I can live here.
Yeah, I could. I could too. I mean, literally, but you're speaking so much truth that, fellas, again, this is Black Fathers Now. This is, I'm bringing the village to the brothers in the form of insight, inspiration, and wisdom, and the journey of Diondre Jackson, just, where he's come from, the influences, the experiences that he's had, all led to this thing, this penultimate development in which he's basically wrapping up these young men so that they, in essence, have a playbook to kind of launch into life with. Fellas, I want you to pay attention to one of the things he just mentioned was getting out of your current environment. And sometimes for us as fathers, if we have families and we're established and all of that, we can't physically go somewhere. But the issue is you can get out of your own environment from a mindset perspective. So take what he's saying, look at it, think about how you can support something like this, support this, or maybe even recreate something in your own environment. But on a personal level, I want you to think about getting out of your own environment from a mindset perspective. Sometimes it's getting out of your own thinking, getting out of your own, habits that maybe weren't necessarily conducive to you being the best brother that you can be, the best father that you can be. Because at the end of the day, as you become the best man that you can be, as you grow as a person, the default is other aspects of your life continue to grow as well. You don't find someone that's just successful here and everything else falls to crap. No, the concepts and principles that they embody to become successful there can be copied and pasted in their own way into other aspects of their lives. But sometimes it's as simple as you need to change your environment. If you can't physically change your environment, change your mindset. That helps to change your environment because as a man thinketh, so is he. Now, I'm not going to keep my man too much longer. Is there anything that you'd like to leave the brothers with? Anything else you'd like to share aside from, following Penultimate Development online? And what about social media? Do you have any social media handles yet?
I don't. And I'm gonna set up a Facebook page.
Okay.
Facebook page for it.
But if they go to the website, they can definitely get info.
All information is at www.penultimatedevelopment.org.
Okay.
So I think that the thing I lastly just want to leave with is that we can't do this alone. This is you mentioned earlier, it takes a village. And a lot of us, we think that we need to get to a certain place before we can make a difference. Okay? And I'm here to tell you that that's not true. Every brother can make a difference now. Because you could look back at all of the problems that's happening in a low-income community, where the majority of the folks living in the community in Knoxville are black. What's not there? Fathers. And so we all can help build our community and help stop the cycle of fatherless homes, stop the cycle of generational poverty, and help raise our young boys up to be the spiritual fathers and the leaders that they are called to be. And so and that's what that's God has honored me and called me to be involved in this manner. So, but I need fathers to step up. Those folks that have been raised, that are blessed to call themselves daddies. That's a blessing to be a daddy. That's a blessing. My kids call me daddy.
That never goes out of style.
That's right. So but we got to help, and we can all give a small part back, and I'm gonna be reaching out to some brothers. I think for too long we've asked our women to carry the burden of being
the mama and the daddy.
It's not possible.
It's not.
It's just not how we're designed. There is just something special about my father. I mean, it's the most valuable thing that I've ever had in life is to learn how to be a man for my dad. I can't stand when I hear guys say, "Well, I'm a grown man." Well, be a grown man. You don't have to say it.
Just show me. Don't talk about it. Be about it, player.
That's it. And so I think us as black men, we have to pass that on to these younger these younger boys.
Got to
on how to be. I mean, I never forget. Me and my brother, we talk about this all the time, and that is, my father taught us right from wrong. I mean, we don't hesitate. It says in Proverbs, when you know the right thing to do, you do it without hesitation. Okay, and so we have a strong set of values drawn in the sand that we know that our dad taught us never to do. Never to do. So I've never struggled with being a man and my values as a man, no matter what.
Because my father taught me.
Because that's what my daddy taught me. That's what my daddy taught me. So,
fellas, I hope y'all paid attention to that. 4 important words. My father taught me. ... Think about that. Now, some of us may not have been blessed to have had that, but those of us that have, we know how powerful that phrase is. My father taught me. ... And think about the young boys and young men that are growing up now. If they don't have that, sorry, Charles Barkley, we have to be the role models for them, because we want them to have the opportunity to say, my father taught me. And guess what? You might not be the biological father. You might be the mentor, the big brother, whatever it is. But my father taught me. How important is that phrase? Now, fellas, I want y'all to make sure to visit penultimatedevelopment.org and stay up with Diondre Jackson. Follow him. Google his name. You might even find some clips of him high jumping or something, maybe somewhere.
Too old for that.
Too old for that. But definitely check him out, man, and make sure you let him know that you heard about him on Black Fathers Now. And as he gets the social media stuff up and running for penultimate development, make sure to follow that, share that. If you're looking to, to support, get in touch with the brother, man, because this is a venture that is very much worth supporting. And guess what? It's one of us doing this. Setting the stage. As always, fellas, thank you for listening. Make sure to follow Black Fathers Now on all the social media outlets. Visit blackfathersnow.com. Grab a copy of my book, Dynamic Black Fatherhood Manifesto. Make sure to subscribe via iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Amazon Alexa, anywhere you listen to podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure to subscribe, share this, but then also make sure to leave comments, as that helps us to rise in the ratings. And until next time, fellas, y'all be blessed, well, and wise, and I'll holler at you. Peace.
Yo, fellas, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And always visit blackfathersnow.com, as well as follow Black Fathers Now on virtually every social media platform you can think of. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. Just follow us and engage with us, man. Look forward to hearing from you. And I guess until next time, I'll holler at you. Peace.